So weird. I just went live. Hello, if there's anyone there. Hi. And I got an email from YouTube saying I just went live. I'm like, I know. Thank you. So weird. Weird YouTube. Hi. Today we're going to be hopefully talking about An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. Yeah. I don't know if anybody else has read it. If you've read it before, or if you're reading it, or what you think. So, yeah, that's what we're doing today. I'm just posting on Instagram that I'm live. Hello. Dee, 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 dee. This is me waiting for somebody to talk to me. Hi. Dee, 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 dee. Hello? Is anyone there? I'm in a weird mood today, I guess. Hello. Hi. I feel like there's people watching, but I can see there's people watching, but nobody's talking to me, so I don't know what to talk about or who to say hi to. The idea today was to talk about an absolutely remarkable thing, but I didn't want to jump straight into it because I don't know if anyone's there. I don't know. I wonder how many people actually watch these after they've been published. Should go and check that out actually. Hello. Last time we did one of these, I forgot to do the like draw of the new books. So I've got that right next to me today so that I don't forget, because I have to do it by myself later and it's just not as much fun. Not that I think, I don't know. I'm not sure if like you care if I could just do this on my own, but I think it's more fun if we're doing it together. But we do need more like book recommendations because a lot of the ones, well, not a lot, but a few of the ones we've used have already, come out, and it's a small little box of things. So it's good to keep having new ones so that we don't keep drawing the same names out. So I'd like to add a recommendation like every now and again, but I haven't added one in a while. But I actually bought a couple of books yesterday. One of them was Legendary by Stephanie Garber, which is the second book in the Caraval series. And I'm excited for that. It was a really good book. Well, Caraval was a really good book. I listened to it on audiobook and like switched between physical and audio, and it was really good. And I also bought this other book called Perfectly Preventable Deaths by Deirdre Sullivan, I think her name is. And it sounds so spooky and like atmospheric and like witchy. It just sounds perfect for this month. So I'm really excited to read that one. But I don't think I'll add it to the draw because, well, it's too late now. And also, I want to read that like tomorrow. So I don't know if there's going to be, I don't know if anybody else is interested, to be honest. But yeah, it's just sounded really good. And I never heard of it, even though it came out earlier this year. Like it's a book I haven't seen anyone talk about. I haven't heard anyone talk about it. I haven't seen it on Instagram or anything. And I actually was checking on Goodreads, and there's only like 80 reviews or something. So there's not that many people have read it, but it looks really good. I haven't got it here, but it's like a beautiful book. So I don't know. I'll have to let you know how I get on with that. But yeah. I don't know what to say. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I know that when I yawn in like videos and stuff, people get not mad at me, but people are like, "Stop yawning. You're making me yawn." But I can't. I'm always yawning. I don't know. I'm a little bit tired still from water aerobics. That's started back up. So I'm tired from that, but I'm feeling better, but like it was an exhausting few days. And yeah, today it was like slow start, but I'm starting to feel better, but still a little bit tired. Yeah. I feel like I'm always tired. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but yeah. But either way, this week I won't be able to go to water aerobics because I'm going to visit my family. My sister is going to be here. Well, not here. She's going to be at my parents' house. And I'm going to go see her and hang out with my dog. Oh, can't wait. And yeah, see my mom and my granddad and stuff. So I'm excited for that. But I'm also like, yeah, I'm gonna miss the class because even though I could go, I only leave on Thursday, but I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna make it. And then I have appointments and stuff to do there, so I was like, not gonna happen. But yeah, so I'm gonna be traveling this week. So hopefully that'll be like an interesting vlog. Exciting stuff. And I'm also thinking about maybe filming a video with my sister, but I don't know what video that would be. Because I feel like people really liked the video I filmed with her talking about like her perspective of the illness and stuff and what it's like for her kind of thing. So I wonder if there's like if you have any questions or anything that you'd like me to film with her, maybe let me know because that might be fun. And if we have time to do that. Yeah. That's it. um do, 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 do. I don't know what to say. Do. What else? Should I talk about the book? Maybe I'll talk about the book. That way, if you're watching this post live stream, you don't have to wait that long to hear my thoughts on the book. I already talked about it in my video this week, and like I liked it. I thought it was good. I liked a lot of the things that were unusual about it. So I liked the writing style. I liked there was a lot of action, but also a lot of like reflecting, thinking about stuff, and like pondering the human condition, I guess. I thought it was good that the character, like the main character, April, wasn't super, like she was aware that she made a lot of mistakes. And I kind of liked that. And I liked that it was like kind of a retrospective of her telling her story. So I thought it was good. I also thought that like I didn't really get the whole like thing with her and Miranda and Maya, like that whole love triangle was kind of weird. Like I knew her and Maya were gonna break up from like the get-go because by the way, spoilers, but I knew they were gonna break up from like the get-go because it just seemed really obvious to me. But the whole thing with Miranda, like there weren't any real consequences. Like Andy just forgave her everything, even though Andy liked Miranda and wanted to maybe be with her or whatever. Like it just felt like she could just get away with anything sometimes, and like her friends just wouldn't say anything. But I think that's part of like the thing, like because she became famous and people stopped seeing her as a person, and they just kind of allowed her to do and be anything and like without consequence. And I think that's maybe what the author wanted us to think or feel. So I was kind of like, okay, well, I don't think that's how it would go down in the real world. But then again, it's not the real world because she's supposed to be like uber famous. So yeah. Also, I'm curious, like, what happened to the publicist? Like, what did she? Because she seemed kind of like a, what's the best word to describe her? She seemed like somebody who would betray you at the first opportunity to like get a step ahead of the game, I guess. So she did not seem like the type of person you wanted to be very trusting of. So I wonder what happened to her. But I always have this, like I always wonder about like secondary characters, like what was the deal with them? What happened to them? Especially when they've done like bad things or things that screwed over our main character. I'm always like, I wonder what happened to them. So I wonder if like in the next book we're gonna get an explanation as to like what happened to a lot of the characters, because towards like the end we see Andy talking about his version, or his like not his version but his side of the story and his perspective, I guess, of what he saw and like how he saw what happened toward the end. And I wonder if like the next book we're going to get that from other people, or if I don't know. I definitely think that April's gonna come back because she has to. I don't know why I keep like going like that. I only tabbed like one page because there were a few. I actually regretted not tabbing more because there were a few pages where the things that she says like are kind of ponderings about power and fame and like relationships and being insecure, being anxious. And I just thought that they were interesting, but I was kind of like trying to get through it. So I only like tabbed one bit here where I thought that she was talking about power and how um, it's perceived and stuff like that. So I thought that that was really interesting that we talked so much about like fame and kind of YouTube fame in today's world, like how people feel like they know you, even though they've never met you, and how if you saw me or somebody else that you watch on YouTube, especially the really big YouTubers, you feel like you know them and they don't know you. And if you see them on the street, you might be compelled to like hug them or tell them about your life, even though you don't, they don't know you. And for all intents and purposes, like you're a stranger to me, so I find that kind of interesting, even though I like that people reach out to me and ask for my advice in certain situations and ask for like my opinion, or they want to like talk to me and be my friends. Like I've met a lot of fun people and a lot of good people through YouTube, but like it's interesting to me that I get a lot of messages asking me about certain symptoms or about like what they should do about their doctor's appointment and stuff. And sometimes I'm like, I have no idea. I like to help and I'm happy to. And I feel like at this point it's in a very small scale. So it doesn't really bother me at all. I feel like if I ever, like if my channel grew to its like considerable size, like that wouldn't be feasible. I wouldn't be able to answer those questions anymore. But for now, I'm happy to because I enjoy like the conversation. I enjoy knowing what bothers other people. And I enjoy knowing that my experiences and my experimentations and the things that I have tried and that maybe have worked for me are going to be helpful to other people. Like I enjoy knowing that. Whenever I get a comment saying like, you helped me through a flare or you helped me through a bad day or watching your videos has helped me understand things better or whatever, like whatever it is, if it's something positive, it makes my day because I'm just so happy that talking to my camera helps other people. Like it's just so weird and mind-boggling, and I'm always talking about this, but it is. And it's cool, and there's only like 500 of us, so it's a fun little time. I think it's a great little group of people. Anyway, but I just think it's interesting because a lot of those things that they talk about in this book, about especially the whole like YouTube fame and stuff, obviously I don't think I'm famous at all, but there are things that I can see happening and I understand. And the thing is, like when I started making videos for YouTube, I did a lot of research and I tried to make sure that I knew what kind of dangers um, and cons this would have, this kind of lifestyle and making this kind of content would have for me. And I tried to be very aware of that kind of stuff. And I watch a lot of other YouTubers, and whenever they sort of talk about things that they wish they'd done differently or that bothers them or whatever, I always like kind of take that on and I'm like, okay, so I have to be mindful that that doesn't happen to me. And I feel like because of that, my YouTube experience so far has been super positive because I've made sure that I'm not overworking myself, that I'm not, always on, that I have like schedules, times to work on videos so that it doesn't take over my life. I don't know. I just try to make it very structured because I feel like it might never get bigger than what it is now, which is totally fine. But if it does, I feel like I need to have those bases and those like good habits created. And I feel like I need to do that with everything in my life. I'm a very disciplined person. I'm very organized as well. So I naturally tend to do that. So I tend to like create rules for myself and sort of sets of boundaries because it's very important for me to do that because I am somebody who tends to like I don't have really a middle ground. I either go all in or I'm like not interested at all. And that goes for like everything in my life. So I've tried really hard to be conscious of like finding a middle ground and like scheduling that and like planning around things to force myself to stay in the middle ground, which has been hard, but it's been important with chronic illness and just like working from home and stuff like that. It's important that I've become disciplined and that I got that from dancing for so many years. And all of that stuff like helped me now be able to be more structured and be more organized and disciplined. So I don't know. I just find that I always find it really interesting to read about stuff like that. And I find like people interactions and society and stuff just so interesting. That's why I really like mystery novels and like thrillers and stuff. I always like my favorite part is always finding out why the person did it because I'm always like, huh, okay. Because I like understanding where like what are other people thinking and what brought them to that decision or to that situation. I just find that so interesting. And I feel like, I don't know, I did psychology at school, so I really enjoyed that. And I feel like I have a little bit of like minimal understanding of psychology, of human psychology. I think the fact that I did therapy for like 6 years probably helps me a lot. And I'm always like, when I see somebody doing something, I'm like, well, but maybe they're in pain or maybe they're having a bad day. And I'm always thinking like they have a reason to be like that. Even if they're being unpleasant to me, they probably have a reason to do that. And unless they're like actually damaging me or hurting me or like putting me in danger, I'm always tend to be like, okay, they're probably just having a bad day. But maybe I'm just naive and like, I don't know. Maybe I'm too much of a Hufflepuff. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. But I feel like these live streams are just like me spewing my thoughts and like just, what is that called when conscious, what's that called when people conscious stream? Is that what it's called? Like where you just will talk and then it's just like where your mind takes you and you just keep talking. Is that what it's called? Anyway, I don't know if that's what I'm doing, but just talking to myself. Okay. I don't know what else to talk about. I don't know if other people read the book this month. I know that one of the people who participate the most on the Goodreads forum said that they'd already read the book, so they weren't going to be participating this month. So that was kind of a bummer. But also I read it on holiday, so I didn't actually post on the Goodreads forum because I was on holiday. So I wasn't like really going on my phone a lot. I was just reading it and kind of like at the pool and at the beach kind of thing. But yes. I think I'm going to do the little draw now because I feel like it. Let's see. So basically this is the way this works. I'm sure everybody knows, but I'm just going to say it anyway because maybe there's new people around. So the way this works is I take 4 pieces of paper and each piece of paper is a book that somebody has submitted. I tend to not submit many books because I don't want to cheat the system. So I will submit a book every now and again, but not really. So most of these are people have sent them to me. So if you want to do that, you can do it on Goodreads, you can do it on Twitter, you can do it on Facebook, or on Instagram. You can just send me a message and be like, we want to read this book, and I will add it to the little pot. So basically, I take out 4 books from this selection, and then I will create a Google form for you guys to vote, and you will have until like the end of the week to vote for this book and for whatever book you want to read, and then we will read it together. Everybody reads at their own pace, and there's a Goodreads like forum where I will create like a chat topic thing for us to talk about the book, and I split it into chapters so that if you're still like on chapter 1 or 2, you don't want to be spoiled by other people talking about things further down the line. So if we are discussing chapter 15 to 17, for example, then we will be discussing that in that topic, so that people who haven't read that yet or have read further, like, we don't spoil each other, if that makes sense. So this first one is called We Are the Living by Ayn Rand. I'm not sure how that's pronounced, but that one. Let's see, this one, which is called Boy's Life by Robert McCammon. Then this one is called La Belle Sauvage, The Book of Dust by Philip Pullman. I saw this book yesterday at the bookstore and I was like, should I take it? But then I decided against it, and I wish I had. And last but not least, we have Alana, The First Adventure by Tamora Pierce. And if you would like, I'm going to do a quick search of each one of these so we can know what's happening. And whatever doesn't get chosen, so obviously 3 of these will go back in the pot, and then we can select them at a later time. So let's go on Goodreads real quick and search for We Are the Living. That also sounds kind of spooky. I don't know if it is or not. Let's see what Goodreads has to say. It has 3.91 star, like, average rating from 24,940 ratings. That sounds pretty good. So this is a timeless story that explores the struggles of the individual against the state in Soviet Russia. First published in 1936, We the Living. Oh, I thought it was We Are the Living. Sorry. We the Living portrays the impact of the Russian Revolution on 3 human beings who demand the right to live their own lives and pursue their own happiness. It tells of a young woman's passionate love held like a fortress against the corrupting evil of totalitarian state. We the Living is not a story of politics, but of men and women who have to struggle for existence behind the red banners and slogans. It is a picture of what those slogans do to human beings. What happens to the defiant ones? What happens to those who succumb? Against a vivid panorama of political revolution and personal revolt, Ayn Rand shows what the theory of socialism means in practice. That sounds really interesting, actually. So that's one of the options. Then Boy's Life. Let's see what that's about. Boy's Life. Maybe I have to put the little asterisk, not asterisk, little thing. Boy's Life by Robert McCammon. So in me are, so this has 4.35 stars average, and it came from 23,657 ratings. So it says, in me are the memories of a boy's life spent in that realm of enchantments. These are the things I want to tell you. Robert McCammon delivers a tour de force of storytelling in his award-winning masterpiece, a novel of Southern boyhood, growing up in the 1960s that reaches far beyond that evocative landscape to touch readers universally. Boy's Life is a richly imagined, spellbinding portrait of the magical worldview of the young and of innocence lost. Zephyr, Alabama is an idyllic hometown for 11-year-old Corey McKenson, a place where monsters swim the river deep and friends are forever. Then one cold spring morning, Corey and his father witness a car plunge into a lake, and a desperate rescue attempt brings his father face to face with a terrible, haunting vision of death. As Corey struggles to understand his father's pain, his eyes are slowly opened to the forces of good and evil that surround him. From an ancient mystic who can hear the dead and bewitch the living, to a violent clan of moonshiners, Corey must confront the secrets that hide in the shadows of his hometown, for his father's sanity and his own life hang in the balance. Also very interesting. Oh, man, there's just, all of them so far sound pretty good. Let's see, La Belle Sauvage, The Book of Dust #1. So this is a series. This has 4.17 stars, and it has 54,405 ratings. And this says Malcolm Polstead is the kind of boy who notices everything but is not much noticed himself. And so perhaps it was inevitable that he would become a spy. Malcolm's father runs an inn called the Trout on the banks of the River Thames, and all of Oxford passes through its doors. Malcolm and his demon, Asta, routinely overhear news. Demon? I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Asta routinely overhear news and gossip and the occasional scandal, but during a winter of unceasing rain, Malcolm catches wind of something new. Intrigue. He finds a secret message inquiring about a dangerous substance called dust, and the spy it was intended for finds him. When she asks Malcolm to keep his eyes open, Malcolm sees suspicious characters everywhere. Lord Asriel, clearly on the run, enforcement agents from the Magisterium, an Egyptian named Coram with warnings just for Malcolm, and a beautiful woman with an evil monkey for a daemon. All are asking about the same thing, a girl, just a baby named Lyra. Lyra is the kind of person who draws people in like magnets, and Malcolm will brave any danger and make shocking sacrifices to bring her safely through the storm. This sounds excellent, actually. This sounds like fantasy and kind of like a little bit of detective work in there, so that sounds good. I'm seriously like, I don't know which one I would want to read. So let's see, Alana, the first adventure, Songs of the Lioness, also the first in a series. And this has 4.26 stars and 106,952 ratings. That's a lot, actually. So, from now on, I'm Alan of Trebund, the younger twin. I'll be a knight, and so young Alana of Trebund begins the journey to knighthood. Though a girl, Alana has always craved the adventure and daring allowed only for boys. Her twin brother, Tom, yearns to learn the art of magic, so one day they decide to switch places. Tom heads for the convent to learn magic. Alana, pretending to be a boy, is on her way to the castle of King Roll to begin her training as page. But the road to knighthood is not an easy one. As Alana masters the skills necessary for battle, she must also learn to control her heart and to discern her enemies from her allies. Filled with swords and sorcery, adventure and intrigue, good and evil, Alana's first adventure begins, one that will lead to the fulfillment of her dreams and the magical destiny that will make her a legend in her land. That also sounds really good. Man, I'm such a sucker. I'm like, any kind of blurb, I'm like, yep, that sounds good. Yeah, it sounds good. So I don't know. But I shall make that form as soon as I stop this live stream, sorry, and we can start voting. So exciting stuff. Yeah, I don't know if there's much else to say. I don't know if anybody else is going to come and join us. So it's very hot today. It's still very hot every day, but it's getting colder at night, which is good. Great stuff. I think I'm going to go now. I don't know if anybody else is going to come and join, and I'm a little bit tired, to be honest, so I think I'm going to get going, but please do let me know if you have any ideas for videos or anything like that. Just leave that in the comments. Also, please let me know more book suggestions, and please don't forget that if you're sending book suggestions, there has to be a physical copy of the book, a digital like ebook format, and also an audiobook format. So if all three of those do not fulfill the requirements, then we're not going to be reading it, because this is an accessible book club. It means that people who have a hard time reading books physically can either read them via audiobook or ebook or whatever. It has to be available to everyone. So that's the rule. Also, the other rules that it's not fantasy, sorry, is that it's fiction. So we don't read nonfiction at the moment. So yes, that's it. So I'm gonna go now. Thanks for joining. Thank you for watching if you're watching this later, and keep on reading, I guess. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye.